This week's Four Questions Journalist Spotlight is brought to you by Leff's Atlanta Media, Atlanta's best journalist database. Subscribe at leffsatlantamedia.com.
Welcome to another edition of our Four Questions Journalist Spotlight. We are going a little bit south of downtown today. We're talking to Leon Stafford, although it's south, but also, I don't know, a little bit east. I don't know. Leon's all over the place. Good afternoon. Hey, Leon, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So let's jump right in. So, Leon, you are a reporter with the Journal-Constitution, but you have kind of a specific focus. So tell us a little bit about kind of what is that focus area? What do you do at the AJC?
Yeah. So I am Leon Stafford, as you said, and I have been at the AJC since 1997. And my latest incarnation of my job is I am covering South Metro, which includes Clayton County, Henry County, and Fayette County. And I'm covering a little bit of everything on those parts of the Metro. I am covering the government, the local government, and the school systems, and a little bit of law enforcement. So I'm a little bit of everything, a one-man band on the South Side. And that sometimes includes, a little bit of South Fulton, because South Fulton and Clayton kind of get a little bit of that gray area. And that can also include Hartsfield International, because that also includes, it's in Clayton County, and it kind of bleeds into that coverage from time to time. So
right. So it's more of a geographic focus than a beat focus on development or politics, or so it could be education, government, arts, events, anything.
News of the day. Yeah.
Yep. Anything that's happening down there.
Yeah.
All right. So 1997. So you can make me do higher math and figure out that's 24 years. Is that right?
24 years. Yes. And my business background, back when I was a business person, when I covered business for about 10, 12 years, the addition and subtraction was easier for me. And since I stopped doing that, I don't know how to subtract or add anymore. So I don't have to do that anymore.
Well, now you don't have to anymore. Now you get like Matt Kempner and Mike Cannell, who can deal with the adding numbers and stuff.
I send my questions to them. Yeah.
Please explain what this Federal Reserve thing is.
Why are there 12 of them? I don't really understand.
Yeah. Well, because you did. For a while there, you did retail, and because I remember you and I did a lot of Thanksgiving Day stories.
Yes. So prior to covering South Metro, I covered the city of Atlanta. So I was there for the last years of Kasim Reed, Mayor Kasim Reed, who may be Mayor Kasim Reed again. We will see. Prior to that, I covered business, and I covered just about everything on business in Atlanta. I covered all the big retailers, all the big companies from Home Depot and Coca-Cola. At one time, I was covering all of them simultaneously. Tried doing that hat trick. I also covered Chick-fil-A for years. I covered the companies that weren't here and are no longer here back when, if anyone remembers, back when Moe's first was started. I was there back when Church's Chicken and what was the other? The company that owned Church's Chicken also owned several other companies here in Atlanta.
Is that America's Favorite Chicken?
Yes.
AFC, right?
AFC Enterprises back when they were a bigger concern, and when they owned a coffee company and they owned Popeyes, and it was all of the. I think it was Popeyes, not Church's. Sorry, it was Popeyes. There was a whole lot of, all those things back in the day. I even remember when I covered when I think Crystal moved its headquarters from Chattanooga to Atlanta. So I have a lot of knowledge in my head that sometimes because of my years as a business reporter and covered the advertising and public relations world briefly, and I had a column, if you remember that, for a brief moment.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So. Back when the paper recognized the most important professions in town, right?
Exactly. Back when we had 30, 35 people in our business
on the business desk. Yeah.
So if you can go back in that far, you can win some lollipops or something like that. If you can remember that far back.
I go back to Bill Husted and Tom Oliver.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I remember. I worked with Bill and all those great guys. Had our big fat juicy Sunday business section. Everything else, I miss that.
I know. I keep talking with Kevin. Every time I talk to Kevin Riley, I'm like, "How about that business section, Kevin? You want to bring that back?" It's like he says, "Yeah, nobody wants to bring that back."
I'm going to take the fifth on that one, so I can talk to you again some other time.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you were not born working at the AJC. So where were you before that?
So before that, I was born in Washington D.C. That's my hometown. So I miss my home. So I started out working at the Knoxville Journal way back when. I'm not going to tell you my age, but you can count the wrinkles. And after that, I went to Knoxville News Sentinel. I was still at the University of Tennessee at the time. Graduated, stayed at the Knoxville News Sentinel for a few more years, and then I went to the Lexington Herald Leader in Lexington, Kentucky. Stayed there for about 7 years, and then I came down to the AJC and have been here ever since. Covering a variety of things. I think I started out covering Rockdale County schools. Back in the days when, if anybody remembers, the early days when unfortunately the school shooting started, Columbine, if you remember that summer, there was a school shooting in Rockdale County also. I covered that. I won't say I was there for that.
That was 99, I think.
Yeah. I also covered the lost children of Rockdale County, if anybody remembers that. Story that was a frontline expose, and man, it was big news for several weeks.
So, what's on your radar for the South Side now? I mean, there's a lot of development, but there's also a lot of other controversy and crap that goes on in Clayton County and some of the southern counties too. What are you looking at? What kind of the big stories that you're following?
So, there's several big stories. The one that most people might know is about the sheriff down there in Clayton County. Sheriff Victor Hill, as you know, has been indicted federally, and now he is he's still sheriff, but he is not active as sheriff because was told to step down by a committee that the governor put together. And so following his case, and it may be some time before we see a lot of movement on that because it's so backed up right now.
Right.
So his is one of the biggest cases on the South Side. I'm also covering the school system down there. Right now, schools are probably the epicenter of just about everything because of COVID-19. And Clayton County school system has recently, as of yesterday, put 19 schools students are not learning in the buildings, or since the beginning of the school year earlier this month, have taken 19 schools, and they have from different periods been learning remotely, meaning the buildings were shut down, the students have remotely. Now, that has not all been at the same time. Some of the schools the buildings were closed down early on, and students have been back in schools. But a total from schools open to now, 19 schools have at some point been remote learning.
Yeah.
And Henry County has recently said 6 schools in their community were being taken offline and kids were learning remotely. So that has been one of the big issues, big driving forces of some of my coverage. And basically since school started earlier this month. Other stories for this side of town is definitely development. MARTA is expanding in Clayton County, and it's been kind of a slow expansion. They're still working out what that expansion may look like. I think over the next 10 years, they've been wanting to expand and get a little bit more robust, not, I don't want to say trains, but they're looking at more like a commuter rail in Clayton County to expand there. And I think that has been somewhat of a slow process. I think there's been some frustration on the part of the Clayton County Commission about how fast that's going to happen. And MARTA is, I think, to their credit, trying to work that out. So that's been a big issue for that side of town. The other issue is Clayton is the home of the world's busiest airport. And I think they've been a little frustrated that they don't have the kind of development they think that kind of goes with that. There's several groups that are working to try to expand development in Clayton County that would mean more white collar jobs, more diversity in housing. I think that's been an issue Clayton has dealt with for a while. They've wanted a little bit more diversity in housing. They have a lot of affordable housing, and I think they want to add a little bit more middle income housing and a little bit more executive level housing, just to have a better mix there. Henry, on the other hand, is booming in the sense of lots of housing and of all varieties. They would like to get some more jobs down there that are not about the big facilities. They've got a lot of those big facilities that, you know, from Wayfair and other companies that your goods to you, and they would like a little bit more white collar on the side of town.
Yeah, a little less of those big warehouse facilities and more of the smaller businesses.
Yeah. But both of them are doing, you know, as much as they can to try to get that. So I don't want anybody to come and think that they're not being successful. It's just, it's slower because traditionally that side of town has not gotten a lot of the attention for the big Mercedes Benz or the big white collar. The tech jobs are not really coming to them at this point.
Is there money in the government's infrastructure bill for some of the counties down there? That would
there is
MARTA definitely, right?
Yeah, and the state is doing a lot of work. If anybody's been on I-70 down in Henry County, you see there's a lot of work going on right there for infrastructure. They in Henry will be voting in November on whether to tax themselves another penny to spend money, and I can't remember off the top of my head the amount of money, but they want to get millions of dollars in infrastructure in Henry County because Henry County has really rapidly grown, and this is a county that has a lot of 2-lane roads that were built for the county that it was when it only had 80,000, 90,000
right.
people. And now it's 250 plus thousand people, and they're really desperately trying to catch up and build roads that can accommodate. And they would really like to be part of the MARTA system someday. They're open to public transportation. They're open to a lot of things that other parts of the metro are kind of rejecting. Henry County is going like, hey, you know, get us now while we are open to this, and we're in our infancy of, we don't want to get to someday to have 500,000 people on 2-lane roads.
Right. That's great. Let's see. I mean, and I think it's great that you have that focus, because I know the south side of the city has not always has as much media coverage as the north side, and there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of stories down there. So I'm glad that it's good to see the AJC kind of dedicating you to that side of the city. I mean, you look at the north side, and Cobb's got a lot of different newspapers, and Gwinnett's got a bunch of newspapers, and DeKalb, and Clayton, they've got a couple of local papers, but not as many as the north side. So
yeah, and to give a shout out to my colleagues who work for other papers in Clayton County. They've done a lot of good work on the Clayton Crescent, in particular. One of my
Robin's awesome. Yep.
Robin kicks butt when it comes to getting some good work out there. I think for a lot of reasons, the South Side has not had the type of focus that it could have, partly because of the numbers. You can't beat if you have 300,000 people in Clayton County versus about 1 million in Gwinnett. You're going to have more resources given to Gwinnett. That is just the numbers game.
And it's in the newspaper business, it's about advertising dollars too. And if you have 4 times as many people and more people, advertisers are more likely to buy space, and then you got a newspaper, and that makes it more challenging for smaller papers in smaller areas to compete if they don't have that advertising base to support the editorial.
Exactly, and you're more likely to see a little bit more of that kind of urban growth where you've got a lot of investment in restaurants and business and things like that on the north side that you'd see on the south side. And so a lot of times the south side, and they want it. They want it badly. They want others to come down to the south side and say, hey, bring your restaurant concept down here. Try it on us, see if it works, as opposed to just having chains.
Right.
Stockbridge in Henry County is opening they just built an arena, and it's going to open in late September, an official open. They're having an official open with Gladys Knight and Patty LaBelle coming. And that's going to be a huge thing to get, these legendary stars in there. So they're really trying to build that up. But, it's hard for them to kind of get the noise that you can get if you're on the north side.
If only the AJC had a music writer to cover that, right?
Yes. I'll be there, I hope.
There you go.
I'm a big fan of both of those folks. So.
Rodney's covering music now too, right? In addition to...
Don't tell him.
He's taking over for Melissa. Okay, so the hardest question, I warned you this was coming. So this is the most challenging question. What's the coolest thing about Leon Stafford?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something about me that's cool. And man,
you're talking about singing in the shower or something?
Yeah. Oh, when I'm really home, good? Oh my God, I am just the best singer. At home, alone, and you put on anybody, and I sound just like them. But it's only when I'm alone. It's a very weird thing, because if I'm with others, I do not sound nearly as good as I do when I'm by myself and Luther Vandross and our duet. I just sound wonderful.
So who's your best? Who's your best?
Let's see, who is my best? I don't want to tell everybody this, but I can wail just like Patty LaBelle when no one's around.
All right, so this is just
I can hit high notes that you would never think would come out of this raspy voice, but yeah.
All right, so this is just you and me right now. So you are alone right now. And
the thing is though, but it won't work because you are here, and it'll just sound terrible. I don't know why.
What if I turn off my video?
If you turn off the video and close the computer and everything else, and I start singing, it will sound just like it is the weirdest thing. I don't know if anybody else has this problem. Put it down in the comments, as the kids like to say. Put it down in the comments.
All right, we'll put it in the comments. We'll put some musical requests in there too. All right. So you're not going to sing us a tune. All right, fine.
Just because it's gonna blow up my whole theory. And
you know what you could do.
You really can't sing.
So just when we're done here, when you're all alone and I'm not here, just record a little something for me and send it, and then I can edit
I think
it.
that's I think that's
edit
the
it.
plan.
Okay,
I think that's the plan.
We'll do it that way. All right.
Yeah,
So right now, so assuming I'm editing, so the Leon singing is coming up in 3, 2, 1.
See, it doesn't work. Nothing happened.
But no. So I edited it, and it's there, and now we're back.
Yes, now we're back, and that will get people. They will see that I have the most lovely voice in the world, and I mean, Pavarotti. I was singing with Leontine Price on a Janet Jackson tune the other day.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So easier question. So last book you've read that you liked, or the last podcast that you listened to, either one.
I will have to be boring here. I listen to a lot of news podcasts. So I listen to like Joy Reid's podcast. I wish I could tell you some unknown podcast that everybody's going to full of depth and everything else, but I'm a news person, so I listen to news all the time. So the most recent one was Joy Reid's last night, because it's downloads my iPad. And so when I had lunch today, I checked it out when I just wanted to have a few moments to myself.
All right, what's your favorite restaurant? Favorite local restaurant?
Okay, this is another thing that is not going to probably be, make me sound super cool or like I am just this great person. Oh God, what's the name of the restaurant? Flying Biscuit.
Flying Biscuit, okay.
And I can't get my friends to go with me anymore because they go like, why are you always making us go to the Flying Biscuit? But I love the Flying Biscuit.
Good place. All right, favorite guilty pleasure.
Favorite guilty pleasure. It's going to be kind of like one of my favorite places to go. And that is, and I hope I don't tell everybody my favorite place and they all come out, because I like it because it's not that well known. And that is Arabia Mountain. Love going to Arabia Mountain. It's one of my favorite places. Just love taking a little walk there. I actually can, if someone around, I will sing in Arabia Mountain and it will sound beautiful.
There are some, when you get out on the trail. I was there a month or two back, and when you get off the beaten path a little bit, a lot fewer people there as you go kind of towards Panola. And, and you could bike and sing.
Yeah, if you ever get over to like where the little waterfall is and places like that, there's almost always nobody there, and I can just sit back and do my thing.
Yeah, we were biking there a couple months ago, and we got almost to Panola, and then I think we started where that where the barn is. We started there and kind of rode for, I don't know, 8 or 10 miles, and then it started raining, so we kind of turned around. But it's great. We loved it. We're definitely
that place is fabulous. It's just a little bit of heaven on earth.
All right, so so does that count as your favorite local getaway too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go there all the time. There's also another place out here in Rockdale where I live. I also go to the trail over near where the monks are. Where's the monks?
Out in Covington.
In Rockdale. Actually.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a trail over there at the monastery. That's the word I was looking for. The monastery. So I really love going over there, and I just love walking on that property. It's a really nice place to be, and it's very, very quiet.
All right. Last question. Favorite non-work hobby?
My favorite non-work hobby. I'm going to say it is getting out on trails. That's one of the things I would love to do. I had a friend who, someone Paul, who went to New Zealand and did a 5-day bike thing, and I would love to do that because I love to be in the great outdoors. Love getting out on trails. Love going any place where I can just walk and commune with nature. So it's not sexy. Wish I had something that No,
that's good.
I'm a hula hoop champ or something like that, but I'm really not.
That's okay. I like. I don't know if you've been over to Low Water Park over there by Emory.
Yes,
I like walking around there because they've got the little waterfall and the lake, and it's usually, if you go early in the morning, it's never really busy, but it's very relaxing.
Yeah, there's only two places here where it's really busy and you just have to be in the mood to be around people, and that is um, um, the Silver Comet Trail. I've ridden my bike out there, and I love when you get to the part where all the people like a mile out, and then all of a sudden it just kind of thins out. There's no there, but that mile.
Right.
Right around the beginning of that place is just packed with people.
Yeah, we usually go to like 5 or 6 miles out because there's lots of progress. So you go 5 or 6 miles out, and there's not nearly as many people. If you go to that first Smyrna trailhead, then there's and that's a little tiny parking lot too.
Yeah, that and the Beltline. The Beltline is not the place if you want to commune with nature. You go to the part that's over by Piedmont Park. You're just going to be with you and your 500 million other friends.
Yep.
But the other parts I've been into other parts of the Beltline, which are real nice and kind of quiet.
Very good. All right. We've been talking with Leon Stafford with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the man on the South Side. If you want to work on the South Side, you need to talk to Leon. You got a story down there. You got a business, an issue, a restaurant. Talk to Leon.
Yep.
All
right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Leon. This has been another edition of our 4 Questions Journal Spotlights. Tune in again next Sunday for another edition. Thanks, everybody.